Welcome back to another vintage video. I have joined the dark side. So, no, all joking aside, I wanted to play another deck, and I didn't want to just play Frog again because I've been playing Frog a lot, and because I don't want to rent, I want to own all my cards on this because I want to be able to walk away from it, not care, come back, not have a subscription, etc. So for those reasons, I won't divulge anymore. But I've been slowly trying to build up my client as I get the spare time and money, and because the second deck I built was Raker Shops, if I would play Raker Shops without Car, that seems just not appropriate. And I don't want to spend, almost $300 on a set of Fantastic cars, especially if they might get restricted in a couple weeks. It's just not worth it to me. But I was looking at Dredge lists and I noticed that, Dredge is only a couple hundred tickets, and the majority of it are cards I already have, which are the Forces. And I had one Bazaar because of me cubing on LSV's cube server. So I had to buy three more Bazaars, and then like the rest of the deck that I didn't already own was like half the deck was less than a penny a card. Like that's incredible. So I think this cost me like, I don't even know if it cost me 20 tickets. You know what? No, it was the Icarids. The Icarids actually weren't cheap, but it was still not that expensive, honestly. And then like the Bazaars, I think were like 4 or 5 tickets. So either way, it was definitely less than 50, probably less than 40. I don't remember how much the Icarids were, but the rest of the deck, I'm telling you, less than a penny. So that's what I went with. I decided that ultimately it would be better to show different decks than to just me keep playing the same deck, even though I have been really enjoying the FLS Frog build. I did just lose in top 4 of a trial for the land run, unfortunately, to James Adams, who did end up taking it down. They beat my buddy Will in the finals, who was on mono white. So good for them. James now has 2 buys to the Oklahoma land run. But back to this. I copy pasted this list from an MTG Goldfish. I honestly don't remember who it was, but it was, I think, whoever placed in like 5th or 6th in one of the recent challenges, maybe. And then I did watch a little bit of FiretruckModo yesterday just to see if I'd even be interested in the deck and maybe get some sideboarding options. They were playing Wastelands and Strip Mines. I don't know how much I like that. I mean, there's Tabernacles are like definitely the best thing, but I just don't think I want to be wastelanding with this deck. But who knows? I understand you can wasteland your opponents. I did watch their video, and that did happen. I didn't think it was very good, so I liked this list with the Leyline of the Voids, basically over the Strip Mine and Wastelands. But yeah, I am excited to try out this list, and I am playing 4 Force of Negation. Now, again, I did copy-paste this list, but I like the 4 Force of Negation over, like, say, 4 Silver Smut, which is what I see pretty often in a lot of the lists I've been looking up lately. But like with Fantastic Card being such a thing, I think I'd rather just have, 8 Force of Wills in the main, kind of like the FLS Frog I borrowed from Captain Planet. So hopefully we'll dodge Captain Planet this time. We'll see. But yeah, I look forward to bringing you this video. Please enjoy. Welcome to round 1. We won the die roll. We will take the play. This hand does not have a Bazaar, so we will mulligan. This hand also does not have a Bazaar, so we shall mulligan again. My buddy Dirk always gets to keep 7 with his dredges, so I feel like it's kind of unfair. Just kidding, of course. Our opponent tanking on their mulligan decision. The good and the bad is that they're making this decision. The bad is that we obviously have to mulligan. The good being that they have to make this decision before that they know that we're playing Dredge. And since a lot of players like to see what like recent decks others have played, 0 people are going to put me on Dredge, so that's nice. Maybe we can get some free wins. They do keep 7 cards. We will mulligan again. Still haven't found a Dredger, or I'm sorry, still haven't found a Bazaar. Still haven't found a Bazaar. Okay, hey look, we found a Bazaar. We'll keep. All right, we got to put back 4 cards, and look at all these Creeping Chills going straight to the bottom, and this Narcomoeba to the bottom. We need to, I guess we'll also bottom a Thug. Done. We will play a Bazaar. We will activate Bazaar. Who knows, maybe we'll keep a hollow one and get to cast it. That would have been really funny if our first ever time playing Dredge officially, if I would have mulliganed to 1. So I did try to play Dredge before, back when Eternal Weekend was doing trials in like 2019. I already had my 2 buys for Vintage, and so I let my buddy Nick Price, who I talk about in this channel a whole lot, borrow my power to play Bug, so that they could get a buy for that year's Eternal Weekend. And I was gonna play Bazaars because I was playing Survival for like the longest time during that period, and me being dumb, so I took the one Bazaar that was in my cube and put it in my binder to take with me. I didn't get the other 3 Bazaars, so yeah, that was really bad. So I showed up with, you know, 57 card Dredge deck, or I guess technically 72 card. And because it's an Eternal Weekend trial, I couldn't proxy. So my buddy Curtis actually brought Legacy Burn to play between rounds if anyone wanted to play Legacy. And so I borrowed their Burn deck. We bought 4 Pyrostatic Pillars. And even though my buddy Nick Price was playing Bug and thus didn't need my Mox Ruby, I chose not to play my Mox Ruby in principle. So I just like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do this. And then I remember like absolutely crushing Swiss, and then even making it to top 4. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. We did get the hollow one. Nice. If I remember to in editing, I'll post my my results on that. It was a pretty good one. So yeah, we're going to get rid of Stinkweed Imp, Icarid, and Noxious Revival. And then we're going to cast this hollow one. If they have a Force of Will, they have a Force of Will. Okay, it looks like they do not. And you know what's great about this is that we get to just F6. Now, I do want to put a stop on my upkeep so that in response to this Icarid trigger, I don't know if the game will stop. I'm sure it will, but I just want to be safe. But I want to Dredge before this Icarid goes off for obvious reasons. If those reasons aren't obvious to you, it is so that I can potentially put other black cards into my yard so I can eat them with Icarid. So I can still get the Icarid and Dredge at the same time. Where if I just Icarid, I'm not dredging, and if I'm not dredging, I'm not winning. Okay, I was going to say, Chrome Mox does suggest initiative, which may... Oh, Anointed Peacekeeper. That's so bad. Okay, yep, they're gonna take our Bazaar of Baghdad, and by that I mean they're gonna make it to where I have to pay 2 mana to activate. Well, it is what it is. At least we get a Dredger in the yard. We won't be activating Icarid. And then we can attack for 4. Hopefully we hit some more Dredgers. If they ever get to a point where they have to block with Peacekeeper, then obviously it gets a little awkward for them. Will, if you're watching, Will likes to play Mono White Initiative a lot. And I hope you're enjoying this, because this is exactly what you want to be doing against Dredge. Yep. All right. We will not respond to that, because this did name Bazaar, right? Yes, it did. Okay. No response. All right. We will say no. We will go to draw step. We will Dredge. Okay. We will always yield. Always yes. All right. We did hit another Dredger, and we did hit a black creature for our Icarid next turn. Let's attack. Okay. Let's see if they follow this up with a Seasoned Dungeoneer. That would be unfortunate. Wasteland. Okay, that's irrelevant. Okay, this looks like a Seasoned Dungeoneer. They did play a Seasoned Dungeoneer. They do take the initiative. Okay, yeah, so the Anointed Peacekeeper is going to get to explore. All right, so unfortunately, Anointed Peacekeeper also has Vigilance, so it gets to just block my hollow one now for like ever, which is really unfortunate. It would have been really nice had they not hit a spell. Which looks like they hit Witch Enchanter, which again doesn't do a whole lot. It means that they get to kill our hollow one, I suppose. Alright, our turn. We will not respond. We will exile a Shambling Shell. This is kind of greedy, but I think it's fine. Oh, you know what? No, that was really stupid. I should not have eaten there. The only reason why I should have eaten there is if I would have done this twice, which I'm not willing to do. So that was actually just a punt. Mill 5. Okay, there's a Grief and another Icarid, which doesn't do anything. That's really unfortunate. Alright, let's attack with both. But unfortunately, we don't have amazing attacks here. At least we get to hit for 4. Take the initiative, which doesn't do anything. But I actually am going to search. Because remember, we put some Icarid, we put some Creeping Chills on bottom. I guess it's not a May. Okay, yeah, it's not a May. So yeah, it's fine. Because we didn't want those creeping chills to be on bottom anyways. But we don't have... We're actually out of dredgers, unfortunately. And this game's not going to last long enough for us to get to discard anymore. So yeah, us exiling that shambling shell was a punt. And I apologize for that. Yep. I was going to say, they should put it on itself. I don't think it's going to matter, but... I do think getting this to a 4-5 is more relevant than Anointed Peacekeeper getting to a 5-5 on this board. Let's see. I guess I can attack twice. It forces them to block with the Witch Enchanter, which just doesn't seem that great. So I'll say no. So 6. I mean, that's 10. That's lethal if I don't, so I guess I have to. Alright. And then they attack me and forge me and I'm dead. So concede. Alright. Against initiative, I think we do want Mindbreak Traps. That one seems pretty obvious to me. They're going to be bringing in Containment Priests, I can imagine. So we're going to want these shoals. And they probably do have some artifact hate too. But I'm going to not overboard. I don't think we can afford to bring in all of it. We are on the play, which means we do get to grief, which is nice. Obviously, if they have a Chancellor, that's pretty bad for us. But I think we could be in a worse position. I guess we keep a force. And then the Chalice also still in. Yeah, we'll try this. Yes, I'd like to play first. We will mulligan. We will keep. Having a sickening shoal is kind of nice. I do think I need to keep this creeping chill to pitch for a black card. So we'll keep. We will put back. They could have Wasteland, so I do want to keep the Noxious Revival, and I obviously want to keep my Troll. I guess it's Icarid over Stinkweed Imp, just to have a second Dredger in case they do Wasteland or Anointed Peacekeeper us. I guess what's the big difference between bottoming Creeping Chill and pitching the Icarid to Shoal? I guess that's probably better. Let's try this. Alright, so we both mulligan to 6. We'll play Bazaar. Let's activate. Another Icarid, nice. And we even got a Mental Misstep. That's not the worst. So Grave Troll, Stinkweed, Icarid. And they didn't have a Chancellor either, which is also really nice. Alright, then we can pass. Lotus Petal is fine. Cavern of Souls. Okay, so this is probably for Containment Priest. Especially if it names human. Or Cleric, I guess. Okay, they do name Cleric. Alright, so we'll go to our turn. I do want to Dredge in response. We'll put back those. And then, I guess this Mental Misstep. Yeah, I think the Mental Misstep. Yep, here comes the Containment Priest. Resolves. Cast. Target. Exile. No response. Let's get rid of a Grief. Always yield. Upkeep, and then we will draw. Alright, well, let's go to combat. Put some amalgams in. I guess we could make them draw their Lotus Petal. I don't know if that's good, though, so I'll just let it stay. I obviously don't want to let them draw a Containment Priest. But yeah, Noxious Revival as, like, interruption is kind of sweet, not gonna lie. Like, if they Wastelanded me, it's not unheard of for me to want to put their Wasteland back on top. There's a Strip Mine that they're using for a Containment Priest. Sure. That's fine. I could put Shoal on top and then Dredge Stinkweed. Unfortunately, I have to say no to these. Draw step. I guess I'll take a Shambling Shell. No, it's probably just wrong. Oh, wait. Oh, because I dredged it. It's okay. We'll learn. We're learning. That's all that matters. Yep, that was really dumb. Let's go to combat. Let's attack for 4. How many Creeping Chills do I have left? 2. I am going to activate. I will... Mill 5. Okay, I did hit another one. Mill 5. Discard those. Yes. No. No. Alright. Yep, looks like those happen automatically, unfortunately. But yeah, I was supposed to draw my Sickening Shoal and just chose not to because I'm a dummy. But that's okay. We're allowed to make mistakes. It's round 1. I have not played this deck in the official capacity. I am learning. We will do better. Okay? That's unfortunate. One of our Creeping Chills, unfortunately, is on the bottom. But I suppose if we dredge it out, it doesn't matter. No. No. Upkeep. Let's mill 6, mill 5, do all 3. Yes. No response. No. Draw step. I don't think I want to mill 6 here. I think I want to do 5 and then next turn 5. Yep. And then now our last creeping chill, which should be on the bottom of our deck. Like the literal... Oh, okay, no. We just dredge 5 naturally. It's fine. Okay. No. No. Draw step. We have 5 cards in our deck. We will dredge 5, mill 5 cards. We will creeping chill. Yes. And then we go to game 3. Alright. That was scary. We almost messed that up. It is good to know about Swords to Plowshares. His mental misstep's still not the greatest, but I think I like it better than, Force of Vigor in this matchup. For you Dredge experts out there, feel free to correct me. Now that I'm on the draw, am I supposed to board out the Grief's mental misstep in Chalice for these forces for Moxen? I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, I'll try it like that and see how it goes. The Griefs and the Chalice just lose, like, all of their merit, unfortunately, on the draw. Okay, so unfortunately, obviously we have to mulligan this. The unfortunate part is that Creeping Chill is going to get exiled. Now, I am aware that you can 100% mulligan a Serum Powder hand and not powder it. I just don't know if it's worth saving a Creeping Chill for that. So, again, you guys out there can let me know. Also, one of our Silver Smoke Ghouls, we only have 2 in the deck because we're playing the full 4 Force of Negation. But yeah, let's powder. Alright, we have Force, we have Bazaar, we have Noxious Revival. We'll keep. We even have a Dredger. If they have a Chancellor, we don't have a target, unfortunately, for Noxious Revival, so... Oh, okay, cool, no Chancellor, that's excellent. So we do get to just force, like, their first fast mana piece, which is nice. Hopefully they get lazy and just lead with like a Mana Crypt, or I suppose a Mox Pearl. But for those of you playing the other side, like Will, you should definitely lead with your off-color Moxen first, so that they get the highest chance of getting countered. And you shouldn't lead with Mana Crypt, because that one, if your opponent is heads up, they will definitely force that, because Cavernous Souls is a threat. And you should definitely not play your land first either. So maybe I should play Mono White Initiative in my next league. Who knows? But I wanted to give y'all something different right before the land run. So I didn't want to just keep playing, Blue Black Frog. And as I said before, I didn't want to buy 4 Fantasticars either. So if someone wants to let me borrow said Fantasticars, I'll gladly play a league with it. But the 2 decks I kind of bought into already. One was Frog, and then I bought Raker Shops, and I feel like playing Raker Shops without the car makes 0 sense. Why would I do that? No one wants to watch that. So it's unfortunate. Maybe I should have bought Oath or something, but I love Raker. I do want to play a PO version of Raker eventually, like I did at the New York Stacks Exchange event last year. I wasn't able to go to this year's, unfortunately, but last year's was a lot of fun. The 2 losses I picked up in Swiss were to Brian and the eventual winner of the New York Stacks Exchange. I don't remember their name, unfortunately, but I lost to them, and then I got paired against Brian in a win and draw in potential, and then, Brian Koval just absolutely crushed me to the point where even on his, video after New York, they were like, I saw Ancient Tomb, but I don't 100% know what they were on. So, it is what it is. It's always fun. Okay, they lead Cavern of Souls. I assume that they're double queuing, and that's why it's doing this. Oh, Grafdigger's Cage. Okay, well, I do need to counter this Grafdigger's Cage. If I had a second blue card, I would have pitched Amalgam, but I don't see the reason to do that. Okay, so we do get to go to our turn. Nice. Let's activate. We will put back Stinkweed, Shell, and I guess Powder? No. Yeah, let's do it like this. Keep in mind, I can Noxious Revival back Force of Negation if I want to. I probably won't because, knowing me, I'll mess it up again and dredge over it. So let's see if they were sandbagging a bunch of Moxen or if they just wanted to play Cage and hold the Moxen. They did see Mindbreak Traps last game. Okay, is this a White Plume? Oh, no. Is this another Cage? They kept an all-in cage hand against me. Surely they have something here. This might be Containment Priest. Yeah, this has to be Containment Priest, right? This is really unfortunate. Hopefully we don't hit too many hollow ones in this. Let's just force them to have Containment Priest. Alright. We'll Dredge 6. Alright, well here's the test. Do they have the Containment Priest? Yep, they do. They are paying costs. So, no response, unfortunately. No. We will pass in sadness. So this might be White Plume Adventurer. Yes, it is. Yeah, cage into uncounterable Containment Priest is very unfortunate. So here I think I'm just going to pick up the Stinkweed Imp. And then next turn I can Noxious Revival a Sickening Shoal. I guess let's do a Shambling Shell. Okay, now I can actually Noxious Revival the Sickening Shoal now. I think I'm supposed to wait though. Sickening Shoal is an instant. So I can do that all end of turn. And then that way maybe they don't prioritize second Containment Priest. Although they probably should if they have it. Oh no, I should do this now. Because they're going to put counters on the Containment Priest. I don't have a 4-drop black card. Okay, they put it on the Adventurer. That's fine. Alright, let's Noxious Revival. Sickening Shoal. Pay 2 life. So, make sure I'm doing this correctly. I draw 2 cards. I go to 6. I discard 3. I keep Shoal and something else. And Shambling Shell. So, let's draw. No. And then now I can Dredge. And then I will discard Troll, Stinkweed, Serum, Shambling Shell. Go to my turn. Let's activate Bazaar. Please don't have another one. They didn't play anything, which tells me they probably have another Containment Priest, but I'm playing to my best outs and to the best of my nuanced abilities. All right, we will Dredge 6. Because if they have a Containment Priest, they have a Containment Priest. Then we'll Dredge 5. Then we'll put back all 3. Yes. It looks like this is working. Yes. I really need to always yield to those. That's fine. Yield. Let's see here. So we can hit a shell and we can hit a shell. Draw. I have 7 cards left. I'll Dredge 5. Alright, let's attack. Yep, they block 1. They go to 8. Take the initiative. Icarage, Sickening Shoal left. That's actually good to know. So it's a 50-50 to draw a removal spell. We'll go to Instep. There we go. Okay. Go to their turn. And let's see if they can get out of this. Alright, we get the match. Nice. Is that what it feels like to be a Necromancer? Because that was pretty savage, I'll admit. It's weird being on this side of it. I'll see you next round. I am proud to announce the 2026 Oklahoma Land Run Weekend, July 10th through the 12th. This event will be held at the Reed Convention Center in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Join me and my vintage family for a weekend of Magic the Gathering events featuring huge prizes and competitive play across multiple formats. Main events include a Vintage, a Legacy, and a Team Trios event including Vintage, Legacy, and Modern. Don't have power? No worries. You can proxy any card currently on the reserve list. This year's artist is none other than the literal legend Nicola Beeson. Beeson will be on site all weekend long and is the designer of this year's playmat. Our game would not have stood the test of time without artists like Nicola Beeson. Please show her some support during the event. In addition to other prizes, the Vintage Champion will receive the original painting of the playmat art, while the Legacy Champion will receive the original sketch of the painting. Side events so far include a High Roller Vintage Cube for Power Thursday evening, at least one old school charity event, a pre-modern challenge also Thursday evening hosted by GameHQ, Duel Commander, and even more to follow. For more information, please use the links in the description to join the Oklahoma Land Run Discord. I'll see you there. Now let's get back to the video. All right, welcome to round 2. You might have noticed something, and that is my wife saw that I was not being patriotic when she got home, and being as this is being recorded on the 4th of July, she mandated that I wear these. So here we are. I'll be honest, I can hardly see anything in these glasses, so yeah, that'll be fun. It's super dark, but that's fine. Anyways, so Although it is difficult for me to see, I can see, or maybe I can't, any bazaars. So we're going to mulligan. Hey, look, a bazaar. So we will keep that. We will... Hopefully that's the keep button. And then I think I just want to put back this creeping chill. Maybe we play against the initiative again. Maybe this shuffles. I could see... No, I'm just going to put back the creeping chill. All right, so done. We are on the play, which is really nice. And hopefully we can find a dredger. All right, let's play our bazaar. Let's find a dredger. We did not find a dredger. But we did find Hollow One. And then we'll play Chalice to hit any of their Moxen. And with Force of Will backup, this isn't a bad start. Like, one of those Serum Powders being a Dredger, and this is probably, like, I'm not going to say the best start, but it's probably top 2% starts for this deck. Okay. If they have Ancient Tomb, they can still activate. I'm just going to force this. This is pretty aggressive, but... I mean, we're going to start discarding down anyway, so I think it's actually correct. We don't have any dredgers. And now that I think about it, I am supposed to upkeep. So that's on me. Sorry about that. And I would have hit a dredger there too. So I'll get used to those nuances. All right. Let's see what they get. Unfortunately, they can still find a Lotus off of... Does machines. Okay, they can still find a Lotus off of Urza's Saga, which is unfortunate. Force. They did have an Ancient Tomb. Okay, they play Lotus into the Chalice. Alright, good game. Alright, so I suspect that there's going to be some graveyard interaction. And by graveyard interaction, of course there's going to be graveyard interaction. Artifact interaction. So Force of Vigor seemed great. We are on the draw, so Griefs don't seem as great. Let's see. Chalices don't seem good. Again, on the draw for the same reason. I don't know enough about their deck, but seeing top tells me that I probably want Mental Misstep regardless. Do I bring in like one Mindbreak Trap? Because I think I want the Force of Vigors more. This seems fine. Alright, let's try this. We did find a Bazaar. We get to keep 7. Unfortunately, it's not a great 7, but we do have a Hollow One, so we're going to keep. Alright. They start us off. Let's see if we're dead on turn 1. Okay, Bobble. Bobble. I don't know if I like multiple Bobble keep, because you're kind of keeping wild cards. But the rest of their hand might be good enough. Maybe they have a cage. Sure. They get to do the Bobble trick with their fetch land, which is always nice. Lotus Petal. Can I have my Chalice back? I will be bringing in Chalice for what it's worth on the next game. Yep. You have a Bobble. You have a Bobble. Let's draw. Second Hollow One would be nice. Force of Will would be nice. Interesting. Is this a recall? Yep, it is a recall. I wonder if they're targeting me. Just kidding. Alright, can we finally take our turn maybe? Alright, Serum Powder doesn't do much. Second Bazaar is going to be amazing. So I can actually probably keep a Dredger back. So this Gogari Thug will do that for me. Let's cast. And then I will pass. And then next turn we get to double Dredge. And by double Dredge, I mean double Bazaar. Unless they have a Pithing Needle effect here. Time Walk. Okay. At least it's not a Tinker. Does machines again. If this finds a Pithing Needle, it might be too little too late. Unless they have like a Mox. Alright, so they take their second turn with their Time Walk. Okay, they're going to get back Lotus Petal and a Bobble maybe. Yep, there's a Bobble. Okay. Second Bobble. They get to see what I'm dredging into my yard. There's a Top. It's not a Pithing Needle. Tabernacle. That's a shame. Yeah, Tabernacle is actually kind of tough. This is one of the reasons why you do want the Wastelands in the sideboard, but obviously I opted not to play them. I do need to find some Icarids. Icarid will be the way I win this game. Okay, so those go down. I will draw. Let's dredge 6. Play Bazaar. Activate Bazaar. Dredge 5. Dredge 5. Alright. We will pass the turn again. Yep, none of those matter, unfortunately. Stock up, okay. We're not out of this yet. We do have some Icarids, like I talked about. Black Lotus. The Fantasticar. Yep. The 16-us. Okay. Tormod's Crypt. Okay, yeah, that's going to do it. Let's not waste any more time. Alright, I do want this Chalice back. Honestly, I don't even know if I really want the Mindbreak traps over just taking Griefs. Especially being on the play. I feel like I'd rather have a Force so that I can potentially force like a Dozen Machines or something over the Mental Misstep. And since I saw Tormod's Crypt, I'm actually gonna bin... Maybe I just bin all the Force of Vigors actually and just leave in the Mental Misstep as a blue card. Let's try this. Yep, we'll take the play. Unfortunately, we have to bin this. Mulligan. Okay. Bizarre, blue card, hollow one. This seems good. Keep. Let's bin a Smut, I guess. Is probably the correct choice. Done. Let's go to main phase. Dredger, Serum Powder. Play a hollow one. Island. Pithing Needle. Let's see if they have an answer. They do not. Tormod's Crypt. Okay. I'm just going to slow Dredge, I think. So I can... No, because they'll just do it in response. I'll slow Dredge. Is that enough? Probably not. Okay, it does look to be the case. Yeah, do I want to say... I guess I could save the Creeping Chill, but I don't think that's correct. That's fine. Let's go to combat. Wait, why... What happened to my priority? Why did it skip through my turn? Did I somehow F6? I don't think I did. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Why is it doing that? I have my stop set. Turn off auto yields, I guess, so I'd stop messing that up. That's unfortunate, because that might cost us the game. What is this? A Soul Ring? Okay, sure. Tinker? No, a stock up, sure. Yeah, missing a bizarre cycle. Very unfortunate for us. But that's part of playing online, I guess. I really don't know what happened. I can see that I have stops. Sure, you have a Black Lotus. Another Tormod's Crypt. Okay. That's unfortunate. Let's slow Dredge again. We don't hit anything. That's unfortunate. Let's attack. Why is it losing? It did it again. That's really frustrating. I don't know why it's doing that. So they're probing me. So now they're dead to my Icarid. Fantasticar, sure. Yep. Bobble. Okay. Sure. Fetch. Hull Breacher. Interesting. Okay, you have a Hull Breacher. I'm going to force them to pop the Tormod's Crypt here. Let's make them draw land. Yep. Sure. Yep, you get treasures. Discard. Dredge 5. Didn't hit anything. Attack. Okay, they block. Alright, let's see if they can chain a bunch of spells together. Alright, we win. I'm glad that didn't cost us. I do not know what was happening. If you do, let me know, please, because that was really annoying. See you next round. Welcome to round 3. We will be on the play. We have a Bizarre. We will keep. Alright, so we will go to first main. We will activate now, because Hollow One's a thing. Hey, we find one. Let's do Stinkweed, Thug Amalgam, and then we can pitch, I guess, Creeping Chill to the Grief. Would I rather... I wonder if I'd rather give them the opportunity to Force of Will me before I Grief. I think I'd rather do that. Because that way I can get 3 cards. Okay. I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's how I chose to play it, obviously. Let's see. Oh, interesting. So, Doomsday. I think I just want to take the Lotus here. I could see taking the Consult, but I think I'm just going to take the Lotus. I think that's the best bang for my buck. I recognize that that might not be the ultimate best play of all time ever, but that's what I decided to do. We'll see if it pays off. I suspect this will be a Ponder. It is a Ponder. I do like the variety of decks we seem to be getting in these leagues. I'm going to be honest, I can't read if they shuffled or not. These glasses are not the greatest, so I'm just going to hope that they didn't find anything good and go to my turn. On my upkeep, I will Dredge. Let's Dredge 5. Let's Dredge 4. We will discard these 3. Yep. We will say yes. We will say yes. That will trigger all of these. We will go to draw step. We will Dredge 6. Let's attack for 4. And then we'll put them in. We'll put in a bunch of amalgams. All right. Let's see if they can combo us. They did find another land. That's a good start for them. I don't know if it's going to be enough. They need a Dark Ritual. They have the Cycler, the Street Wraith. If they don't have a Dark Ritual, though, it's going to be very difficult. So, for those watching at home... Okay, there we go. They don't have a Lotus. They don't have a Ponder. They don't have an Underground Sea. Demonic Consult, okay? Yeah. Alright, they're going to kill us. That's incredible. Yep. Just like what we talked about. Well, we got to make them do it. So, we can have 6. Good on them. I knew the Consult would be tricky. Okay, they did name Doomsday off of the Consult, which means they did have the Dark Ritual off. I assume the Ponder. For those who care, since we're sitting here, might as well look at their exile pile. And then this is their graveyard pile. So, unfortunately, we didn't exile the Lotus. The Lotus is highlighted now, so they're probably taking it. Which most piles, they've already played their land, so their piles are going to have to contain Lotus. But yeah, some combination of Lotus. We know they have Street Wraith in their hand. Obviously, Recall. If they want to play around Recall, they could Gush. And by Recall, I mean Mental Misstep, which I don't think we have it in our yard. Oh no, yes we do. So they don't need to play around Mental Misstep. If we had a force, we would have forced their Doomsday. So they can just Lotus, obviously Recall, and then actually did they mill? Oh, never mind. Recall's exiled. Is Gush exiled? Gush is also exiled. Wow. They may not be able to crack this pile. Because they're going to go to 6. And they're going to go to 4 upon Street Wraith. Yeah, them exiling Gush and Recall. Sorry, forgive me. Again, these glasses are very dark. So, but yeah, no, that's huge. That is very huge. They may have to pass the turn. So let's see. If they make a pile... They need to get to 2 cards, so Thassa's Oracle needs to be the 3rd card. So, cycle into the 5th card. Now they have 4. They go to 4. Then they go to 2. Yeah, I don't think they can Street Wraith. I think the math puts them to exactly dead. If they Street Wraith cycle. But that's probably fine, right? Because you can do 2 Street Wraiths and then like a Preordain or a Ponder effect. Their Brainstorm's also exiled. 3 Preordain? No, all 4 Preordains are exiled. How many Ponders? 2 Ponders are exiled, but they have 1 in their graveyard, so they definitely have access to Ponder. So yeah, I think without having to like get too into it, I think what they have to do is double Street Wraith Ponder, and then 2 cards left in deck. Ponder, they go down to 2. Oh no, because they still have to draw the Lotus. Yeah. They probably discovered that in real time as we did as well, because they still have to draw the Lotus. I did not account for them having to draw the Lotus until right when I said it when they scooped. All right, that was incredible. Let's go to game 2. All right, against Doomsday, I probably want these Mindbreak Traps. I don't know if Grief is a thing on the play against them. I don't know if Chalice of the Void is a thing against them on the play. But with that said, it's probably... I mean, I guess they could have ley lines. So what does this look like? Cut these, see what they have. Am I supposed to trim on ghouls for the other 2 vigors? That might be overboarding, because again, I don't know if they have ley lines or not. I'm going to try it like this. That's the luxury of winning game 1, I suppose. They could have Yixlid Jailers as well, but you know what? We can't play around everything. Let's just hope that like our Force of Wills are good enough and in our hand. All right, well, this is a mulligan. I will say the mulligan decisions are nice in this deck. You just why in. There are very, very, use case scenarios where that's not true, but I imagine for the most part, and I would say 99% is definitely the most part. So this is another mulligan. This is going to be a powder. So we need to put back some cards. We're going to save a Creeping Chill. And I don't think I can let this many dredgers go willingly. I could be wrong on that. Done. Okay, we have a Bazaar. We'll keep. They do have a ley line, which is unfortunate. So now we need to draw into one of our Force of Vigors. That's good to know about, though, for game 2. Upkeep, draw. Okay, we did draw a hollow one immediately, which is actually really nice. So I am going to activate the... Oh, we have 2 hollow ones? Our mom lets us have 2? That's kind of incredible. So we're just going to bin these 3, I guess. Let's see if they kept a Force. And even if they did, we have a second one. And then we have blue Force of Will pitch card. Is this what it's like to play Dredge? Why am I not playing Dredge more often? This is kind of incredible, I'm not going to lie. Brainstorm's fine. Yep. Let's see if they Dark Ritual into Doomsday. Nope, another cantrip. Recall? Yeah, I'll force the recall. That also means they don't have it for their Doomsday pile, but they have Gush still. How awesome would it have been if that was another hollow one? I couldn't play it yet, but next turn. Alright, they go to 10. They're on a 2-turn clock. If they Doomsday, they can't pass the turn. Flow state. They can still Dark Ritual Doomsday us, so we're not out of it. Preordain, okay. And unfortunately, 2 is not 1, and what I mean by that is that Doomsday actually kills you at 1. Since they're going to 2, unfortunately, we can't do much about it. Okay, so let's go to our turn. Mindbreak Trap would be nice. Noxious. Okay, we can mess up their Doomsday pile with that. Let's just pass the turn. Ponder's fine. Remember, when they Doomsday, their Doomsday goes to their yard. So if they try to like Street Wraith cycle into their Doomsday, I can just make them draw their Doomsday. Noxious Revival is such a good card. I remember playing this card in Standard and with Delver. I played a Teamer Delver Miracles deck, like with Thunderous Wrath. So that, when you Thunderous Wrath, it deals 5 damage, and you Noxious Revival it back to your top of your deck, and you Miracle it again. That was a fun time. I have not played Noxious Revival much since that Standard format, and I absolutely loved it. Noxious Revival as Disruption is just, it feels like cheating. I mean, the card's already Phyrexian mana. It's free. Mental Missteps restricted. They are tanking on this Ponder. This league might turn me into a Dredge player. Oh, man. That's incredible. Like, I'm not even playing or sideboarding optimally yet, and it's been going pretty well. And it's not even like we're like free rolling either. We're playing against Disruption. I mean, our Fantasticar opponent last round had 2 Tormod's Crypts. Okay, another fetch land. Is this going to be like a hard cast Doomsday? Remember, they don't have Recall, but they have Gush. So if they have like a Cycler or just Natural Gush, I guess. Natural Gush might get around Noxious Revival, but if they have Street Wraith into Gush for like Lotus Oracle or, whatever, we might be fine. Okay, Preordain is fine. All right, we got there. All right, well, we don't have a Bazaar, so we are going to mulligan. Oh, and by the way, welcome to round 4, I guess. Getting ahead of myself. We're going to have to powder this. So let's powder. We will put back a chill, I think is the correct choice. Done. Okay, so we will mulligan again. Oh no, I can powder again, duh. And I do think that this is a fine powder. Jeez. Alright, well, now we'll mulligan. We will mulligan again. Alright, we finally found one. We'll keep. We need to put back 3. So we can't... So we're on the draw. We finally lost a die roll. Unfortunate. We need to keep 4, which means I guess that's the 4 that we keep. I think I like that. Let's see what they're playing. Ancient Tomb into Sphere would be bad. Okay, Soul Ring, we can actually respond. That's nice. It's mental misstep that on our Molda 4. I'm sure they're not happy. Sorry, Randy Woodson. All right, we'll go to our turn. We will play a Bazaar. We found a second Dredger. That's actually really nice. Icarid, Stinkweed, Golgari. Play a Hollow one, and then we will pass. Okay, so this is a Jewel Time Walk. Okay, that's unfortunate. Looks to be a desperate Time Walk. And explore the untap your land. Oh, man. Okay. Well, they got the One Ring. Yep. So, I'm still going to put in Icarid because I want to be putting in prized amalgams. Let's dredge 5. Let's dredge 4. Discard 3. Yes. Yield. Okay, so now I don't have to exile to Icarid. No response. No. Let's go to draw step. Dredge 5. Yes. Alright, and there's no point in attacking. They have protection. We'll put into play our 3/3, and depending on what happens here, they might be dead on board. Hopefully they don't Jewel us and take the match. But they have enough to cast the Jewel here. Going to 7, but then they're all in on that Jewel. 4 mana? Is this another One Ring? They do have to play a One Ring or kill me this turn, is what it looks like. Okay, that's going to be a One Ring. That's unfortunate. Yep. And I do like, in this case, keeping the new one because they're only going to take 1 and they're still going to draw 3 cards, where if they kept the original, they would take 2 and then draw 3 cards. So they're actually saving a life. Yeah, now they can Karn us because the One Ring gave them protection from the Ancient Tomb. For those of you that don't know that interaction. But Karn, we do get to attack Karn, which is nice. But I imagine that this is going to be for a Tormod's Crypt. Argenta Masticore, no, okay. And we can't Creeping Chill them either, so I'm probably just going to take a natural draw here. I'm just going to take a natural draw. Okay, prized amalgam, sure. And just in case, I'll attack Karn with both. I don't know if there's a reason to, but I don't see a reason not to, so here we are. Alright, they go to 8. Again, they're in the same predicament. They need to cast One Ring or kill me. Yep. Now remember, I can Creeping Chill in response. So that's the other thing I'm trying to play towards. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to take a natural draw, so I can increase the chances of me having Creeping Chills still in the deck for me to hit. Like right now, 2 Creeping Chills wins me the game. And I think I'm going to go for it now. Dredge 4. Dredge 3. I only hit 1, dang. Alright. Yeah, that Time Walk turn, I think, might have won them the game, that Explore. They go to 1. Grim Monolith. And at least now, if they One Ring, they can't draw a card off of it. Transmute Artifact. Okay. Is this for Paradoxical Outcome? Or not Paradoxical, sorry. Paradox Engine. I would imagine. I don't know if the deck still plays that. It could be for another Jewel, I suppose. Okay, it is for the engine. Yep, they're drawing all the cards. Luckily, we can F6 here. With the Karn defeated and the Time Walk gone, I don't know if they can kill me. I genuinely don't know. So we're going to sit here until they present it. I can take another natural draw and then let the protection fade and then dredge to try to hit another Creeping Chill. They're running out of cards. And remember, if they don't block, I could technically draw with these One Rings, or sorry, these Coveted Jewels. And then I might just be able to hardcast a Creeping Chill. They have to hit the second Narcomoeba, because even with protection, I take the Jewel if they don't block. They have 9 cards left. Okay, now they're Tinkering. So is this Chaos Defiler? No. Okay, it's just another... Yeah, sure. That's fine. Yeah, I only count 2 Creeping Chills accounted for. Alright, so they amassed a ton of stuff. I'm going to try to edit all this out, but I didn't want to get this update. They drew down to 6 cards, I believe is what that says. Again, my glasses are super dark. They have protection. So here I'm just going to take a draw step. I am, because I want the amalgams to come into play, I am going to Icarid once. And we can hit, I guess, a shell's not the end of the world. Yep, that'll trigger those. And then we can say no to these ones. And then we'll take a draw step. Okay, cool. It wasn't Creeping Chill, but it was second Bazaar, which is actually insane. And then on their upkeep, we can actually dredge pretty close to our deck. Let's dredge 4. We'll dredge 5. Alright, we did hit a Creeping Chill. Yes. Yes. Alright, we got there. Alright, Jewel Shops. Man, Creeping Chill is a hell of a card. Alright, we are on the draw. So again, these Griefs are not looking great. The Chalice is not looking great. Mental Misstep is fine, not the best. Force of Vigors, I don't know if that's where we want to be, but I don't think we want the Sickening Shoals either, so... I do think that their preferred hate... I guess it's not unreasonable for them to play Cage. But I know they're probably going to at least play one Tormod's Crypt, because it's nice for the turns that you have to tap out for the Karn to be able to go get the Tormod's Crypt. So I'm pretty sure that it's just guaranteed that they have a Tormod's Crypt, at least one. I don't know if that still applies for games 2, but theoretically they take out the Karn because the Karn's not great and they don't want a 4-mana crypt, or sorry, Tormod's Crypt against me. So I think it's better for them to take out the Karn and bring in the Tormod's Crypt if that's how they feel about it. Obviously, depending on the rest of their board, they could keep the Karn and to do other things with, but that's going to be my logic for now. And, you know, feel free to correct me if otherwise. I'm always willing and able to learn. I'm going to cut these now, and then I'm just going to bring in the Mindbreak Traps and the 2 Force of Vigors, and we can readjust for game 3 if I want the other 2 Force of Vigors. All right, well, that'll be another mulligan. That'll be another mulligan. That'll be a powder. We will save a Creeping Chill, I suppose, and I guess a Stinkweed. So we need to remember that there's a Creeping Chill second from the bottom if this has a Bazaar, which it does. So there's a Creeping Chill second from the bottom. And unfortunately, there's a Creeping Chill in our hand we're going to have to get rid of, but that's fine. We'll keep. Let's let them have their turn. Black Lotus is unfortunate. Ancient Tomb, Voidmere. That's unfortunate. It means we don't have our Hollow one. But this just cares about casts, right? Whenever a player casts a spell, if no colored mana, okay, sure. Interesting. So they're just turning off all their Moxen and Tormod's Crypts. All right, let's go to draw. It means we don't get the Hollow one, but it's whatever. Let's Bazaar. Yep, we don't get to have our Mindbreak Trap either. So we're going to do Stinkweed, Icarid, Silversmut Ghoul. And then just to reread this. Yeah, because I would cast this, wouldn't spin it. Yeah, so my entire hand is turned off, which is fine. Okay, they do have a blue source. That's not Lotus. Yep, you get to recall. Hopefully you draw lots of Moxen. They have to crack Lotus for their next spell currently, and they've already played their land. All right, let's go to our turn. Let's dredge in response. Mill 5. Wow, we didn't hit another dredger. We will, I guess, bin a Smut. That can't be right. We'll bin an Icarid. All right, let's attack. Let's see what they do this time. Workshop Lotus Jewel. Yep. Relic. Time Walk. Passing. Okay. Just a Wondering. No, it's a Trinisphere. Okay. Well, I already couldn't cast anything, so... Oh. They didn't pay blue. I think they meant to pay blue. They definitely... Maybe it was like an auto-tapper thing. I don't know. Because they definitely tapped blue. They definitely meant to play Trinisphere. Or meant to resolve Trinisphere through the Voidmere. Yep, you have a Wondering. Yep, that gives them protection. Transmute. Ring for Ring, I would imagine. Or Coveted Jewel for Coveted Jewel, I would imagine. Oh no, Relic. Okay. That makes more sense. Yep, because that still triggers to untap, so that's perfectly fine. Yep, we get to F6. Yeah, us not hitting a very aggressive Dredge definitely rewarded their keep for the Voidmere, because the Voidmere I feel like was just really slow. I don't know if I'd ever feel comfortable from their side with that, but maybe. Play Tolarian Academy. Tinker. Jewel is the deck that I will probably be playing in at least the team event with Logan and Higgy on Friday, next Friday actually. Six days away, kind of exciting. I really like this deck. I haven't been able to play with it hardly at all. Another transmute, okay. But I am excited to finally sleeve it up. Both Logan and Higgy kind of main this for Vintage, so it's nice to have both my teammates, if not experts, I mean definitely close to it. And the only reason I wouldn't guarantee that they're experts is just because they don't main Vintage, but they're both phenomenal players. And they definitely both know way more about Jewel than I do, so I'm just going to default to what they tell me. But I'm excited to pilot it regardless. It's going to be a lot of fun. Still got to figure out what I'm playing on Sunday, since I won't have their deck to borrow, since they'll be playing it themselves. But it'll be fun nonetheless. Maybe I'll play Dredge. Who knows? This deck's pretty cheap. I'm sure someone has this lying around. And I get to proxy the bazaars, so shouldn't be that bad. Yep, looks like they did the same board. Again, I'm going to try to edit this so you guys didn't have to go through all that. Maybe my monologuing a little bit, but they just produced a bunch of meteor golems and forcing me to do something about it. They do have the one ring protection, unfortunately. We will, no response. We're just going to let this all happen, I believe, because we don't even have a prized amalgam to go get. Yep, we'll just take a natural draw. Yep. Oh yeah, we don't even have any dredgers in here? Interesting. I guess I missed that. Alright, well, let's pass the turn. They'll smack me for a ton. Yep. Another one ring protection. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Let's just dredge. Maybe we'll hit some Narcomoebas to stay alive. Looks like we did. Yes. Yes. No. 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 And I don't think I want to dredge here. I mean, maybe I do. Maybe I do because hitting more prized amalgams might win me the game, but I honestly don't know. So let's just do it. Hopefully we don't hit any creeping chills. We did, which is unfortunate. I don't think this is going to work. We did gain life. That's nice. Okay, the life gain is actually kind of real. I did not know if that would work or not. So now I'm glad I saved my Silver Smut Ghoul. They're bouncing one of the Narcomoebas, but they need to bounce 2? I mean, I'm F6, so you do whatever. Oh, they did bounce both. Okay, good game. All right. I did not see a lot of cards I really care for about the Force of Vigor, so let's... Oh, not this. Force of Vigor, bring in the Chalice again, and I do think I want the Griefs on the play. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep in Mindbreak Traps or Negations. My instinct is take out Mental Misstep and some Negations. That way I still have like 1 card answers to something, I think. Again, feel free to correct me. But yeah, let's try this. Yes, we'll take the play. Yes, we will keep this. Seems like a reasonable keep. Hopefully we draw another blue card. We did. So, Thug, Chill, Noxious Revival? Because I want Force Blue. Cast. This is going to be an interesting game. This is definitely the kind of hand that, Justin has mentioned a lot on his channel when Dredge keeps 7. Having a Hollow 1 double force backup and a Dredger is going to be kind of insane. Which, I'm not going to upkeep Dredge because I want to keep my blue cards. Sure. If this is a Void Mirror, it's going to be annoying, but I will counter it. Mana Vault. Sure. That's not permanent mana, so I'm willing to let it go. Void Mirror. I think I have to counter this because if I don't, I lose my other force. And I want a negation first so that I can potentially force on my turn if needed. Is this a Time Walk or something? If so, I'll just let it happen. Interesting that they wanted to do the Mana Vault. I assume that they have other stuff to play, but they could have Void Mirrored without the Mana Vault. Okay, going to our turn. I'll accept it. Upkeep is fine. We will dredge 4. We will Narcomoeba. That's excellent. Did we hit another dredger? No, we did not. Let's attack for 4. And I think I'm supposed to pass, because I'm just drawing 2 cards and discarding 3 anyways. I'll definitely do it before I force, but I think I'm supposed to pass. All right, so they'll lose another 1. That's excellent. I might force a Time Walk here. 2 blue. This might be a transmute. Oh, another Void Mirror. You know what? I think I'm okay with that. Countering that just doesn't do a whole lot for me, in my opinion. Discard Icarid, Thug, Force of Will. Go to our turn. Dredge in response to the Icarid. Dredge in response to the Icarid. Discard. Yes. No response. Let's bin a Grief. Always yield. Okay, yeah, good game. They needed an untap land 1 ring after taking 5 going to 4. Mana Vault would have been to 3, so it couldn't have been a Sulfuric Springs. Oh, no, the Icarid. Yeah, never mind. The Icarid was another 3 damage I forgot to account for. So, and then who knows, we might have also draw step Dredge into another Creeping Chill. So they might have just actually been dead, but either way, good match. All right, we're on the play for the 5-0. This is exciting. Yes, I would like to play first. Bizarre Force of Will keep, please. Oh my gosh, we're playing against our buddy Connor. Oh my god, Connor. Oh my gosh. I'm going to text you right now, buddy. Texting you live. Oh my gosh. Connor Clark in St. Louis. I was just at their trial. I love this guy. It's unfortunate. All right, so we're gonna... Sorry, we're texting each other. All right, anyways. All right, so we're gonna mulligan. Unfortunately, we're gonna mulligan again, and now we're gonna powder. We're gonna put back, I think, an Amalgam and a Stinkweed. If we don't mulligan it again, it won't really matter. Wow, let's powder again. That's insane. Mulligan. All right, we finally found one. Keep. We will put back 1, 2, 3. No, because they could be on Wastelands. Done. All right, let's play Bizarre. Activate Bizarre. Thug, Troll. Play Hollow 1. Second Bizarre there is kind of crazy, because now we're just going to take a natural Dredge into double Bizarre. That drawing the second Bizarre might win us this game where we otherwise might not have. Especially if they have a Wasteland, sure. Yep. Okay, we will take our Dredge. Mill 6. Narcomoeba. Yes. Amalgam. We will Bizarre again. And then that other Amalgam will trigger, which is nice. Yes. Then let's go to combat. Attack for 4. And at this point, another Wasteland is probably not good enough. All right, and then our other Amalgam will trigger on their end step. All right, so I do not know what Connor's playing at all, which is really unfortunate. I do know that because I am on the draw, I don't want Griefs or Chalices, really. Wastelands, I'm just going to assume that they're a Frog deck. And if they're a Frog deck, it means I may want some number of Sickening Shoals. And then I guess they could be playing like Cages or something. So maybe I cut 3 Force of Negations for more Vigors and go with something like this. And the good thing, again, if we do lose this next game, we'll know what Connor's on at that point and we can sideboard better. Let's submit. All right, we're on the draw. Let's see if we can natural double Bizarre. Let's see if we can get a single Bizarre. Okay, yeah, they were on Luris. I completely forgot to check that they were Luris, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, they are likely a Frog deck with the Wastelands. So we're going to mulligan. And we're going to keep this. We even have Force Backup and a Hollow one. This is nice. We're going to keep. We're going to pitch probably Force of Negation. I could see Thug, but if we don't hit another Dredger, I'm going to be kind of disappointed. And hopefully we'll only need 1 Force. So I guess actually I'll put back a Force. That way we have the option. And let's see what they do. Mock Sapphire. That's a good one. This could be a trap, but I'm going to do it anyways. Again, we'll at least get the Hollow one off and get Dredgers in our yard. Okay, they force back. That's fine. Hopefully they don't go land cage. Land cage would be pretty bad for us. Not a wasteland land. That doesn't tell me anything, though, because they wouldn't lead... Okay, the Sickening Shoal is actually kind of a good draw. They wouldn't lead on wasteland unless they had no other land. And I should keep a Golgari Thug in my hand for Sickening Shoal, so let's bin the Narcomoeba, and then let's cast a Hollow One. Yep, this is going to get a Surveil land, I assume. Probably a Sewers, I would imagine. It does get a Sewers. I wonder if Connor's playing the FLS frog list that I've been playing religiously lately. Alright, there's the Wasteland. We are up to slow dredging from now on. Yep, we'll go to our turn. We will dredge 6. Didn't hit anything? That's abysmal. Let's pop out our graveyard for everyone to see, including myself, better. I wish they could make this bigger, but it's fine, I guess. Tabernacle? Okay. I mean, we still have Icarage to out, so... Yep, that happens. Can't pay. Dredge 4, maybe hit some Icarids. That doesn't matter. Still haven't hit an Icarid. Sure, we'll say yes, because why not? Again, Connor's not out of the woods yet. If we can ever dredge into some Icarids, it's going to be bad time for them. Stock up is fine. We do need to start hitting... Okay, no, we do have a Stinkweed Imp. That's good. I was going to say, we do need to start hitting some of those. I can't F6 in case they have like a Jailer or something, because Jailer would just be the end-all be-all, but the fact that they have Tundra here tells me that they probably have Containment Priests. Containment Priest and Lavinia, in my opinion, are like the two reasons to play white in your Lurrus decks, because Fatal Push honestly answers almost everything that Swords does. Obviously, there's a few caveats, but it's close enough. Again, in my opinion, feel free to disagree. That is fine. Yep, we're going to dredge 5. Okay, we hit a couple chills. That's nice. Did we finally hit an Icarid? No, of course not. Why would we hit an Icarid? Opponent's at 8. And unfortunately, we're giving them infinite time to find cages. Lavinia. Okay, Lavinia doesn't stop us. That can stop us. Okay, they do it now. Okay. Watch, I'll draw an Icarid now. It's like guaranteed that I'll draw an Icarid now. Alright, Bazaar off the top. Never didn't have it. I was sandbagging it the whole time, Connor. Oh, God. Alright, let's do this. Alright, let's bin troll this and I guess this. Because with Lavinia in play, I can't do anything else anyways. Oh, that's funny. My deck's trying really hard to 5-0 for what it's worth. They gotta pay for their Lavinia, and they should because I have answers that I can have otherwise. Alright, and they can't buy and play Lurrus and much less get back Spellbomb, so they have to have second Spellbomb here. And if they do, they do. It's not the end of the world. Okay, they didn't have another Wasteland. That's excellent. They did buy the Lurrus. They're going to attack us for 2. Let's dredge 6. Let's dredge 5. 1, 2, 3, I guess. Yes. Okay, go to 5. Now, unfortunately, they're going to have Lurrus Spellbomb next turn. So, I think we lost this because we never hit a Icarid. Yep, those Narcomoebas aren't going to matter. Okay. Yep, that's not going to matter either. I might consider playing the Wastelands again because of Tabernacle. I wasn't expecting too much Tabernacle. But this seems to be a pretty easy play Lurrus, play Spellbomb, win the game. Yeah, I've already accounted for 3 of my creeping chills. So Connor's safe. Okay, still not a Wasteland. And now they can draw another card off their Spellbomb. I can't imagine what the other play is. You have Lavinia to protect your Lurrus shenanigans. Yep. Yep. Unfortunate. Definitely do it now. Yep. It's unfortunate. No. 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 Now we're going to take a natural draw. Okay. And then end of turn, I'll try to do some dredge stuff, I guess. But I don't think it's going to work. They're just going to hold up Spellbomb for the rest of the game. But at least this way I'm able to get more information. Yep, they pay for their 2 creatures. Yeah, Lyra Spellbomb was pretty brutal. Yep, they go to 8, unfortunately. They play the Spellbomb. I imagine they're going to crack it end of turn when I do the Dredge thing. And by Dredge thing, I mean the Bizarre thing. Remember, we still have game 2 as well. I'm sorry, game 3 as well. And we get to bring back in Griefs. And I definitely want Force of Vigors, I think. I love how I said definitely and I think in the same sentence. But, you know, here we are. Sure. Just make them do it. We'll draw 2. Bin and Icarid. Bin a Dredger. Bin an Amalgam. That's probably too much food for them. They can also just let the Icarid live. So, it is what it is. Because they can just pitch to the frog and block. Also, they just attack back for 3. Like, we're probably not getting out of this, but this is for the trophy. I'm not scooping. Also, I definitely can't complain, but had I been able to hit Icarid earlier, I think we would have gotten there. I guess let's hit the Smut. Sure, we'll slow Dredge. Why not? Oh, maybe now they'll pop the thing. Yep. There's no need to. Again, they have plenty of cards to discard. Yep. And Connor shouldn't show me too much important things. Okay, yeah, I figured the Bowmasters was a thing. Sure. Yep. Now they can Nihil Spellbomb and then replay Spellbomb. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. I think we've seen enough. Let's move on. I don't think I'm winning this with 10 cards left in deck. Alright, we want these Griefs back. I don't think I'm interested in Chalice. Maybe I don't want these Force of Vigors. Maybe we just make that swap. It's I don't know. The like non-cage effect Graveyard Hate just doesn't care about Force of Vigor a whole lot of the time. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this, and that's probably enough. I do like the Mental Misstep because it can counter the Spell Bomb. But yeah, this is literally for the 5-0. Let's do it. This is for all the humble brags. All right, Connor said he's making me fight for that trophy. All right, let's take the play. Let's keep a 7 with a Force of Will. Let's do it. That's a 7 with a Force of Will. We're doing it. Now, unfortunately, I can't Grief and have a Dredger, but we're going to keep. All right, let's draw a black card, please. We did draw a black card. We drew a couple black cards. Almost messed up there. Let's bin, I guess, the Narcomoeba so I can pitch the Smut to Grief. Now, I know last time I played Hollow One to try to bait out a Force. Okay, ended up not mattering, it looks like, maybe. We'll see. They may also just not care about Force here. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, I think here... So, they can Demonic Tutor for Lotus, and that just seems horrible. Yeah, let's bin the Nihil Spellbomb. Let's let that go. Let's cast. And then let's do it. This is what happens when Dredge keeps 7. I suspect that they're going to go Mox Land. Let's see if they Wasteland me. They probably should. I really hope they go Mox Land Demonic Tutor. Because that's basically a time walk for us. Okay, they do Wasteland us. Sure. Alright. We are going to Icarid. We're going to eat the Grief. Let's attack for 7. Combat. Yep, that dies. We have another Golgari Thug. But if we attack for 7 again, so we attack for 8, they go to 5, and that's lethal. So I think I'm just gonna eat the Thug, and then they have to draw removal. Or have a Tabernacle, but I'm 100% forcing Demonic Tutor because they just go get Tabernacle and play it next turn. So I suspect it's going to be Land Mox. Where happened to our... Okay, yeah, there we go. I suspect it's going to be Land Mox Sapphire. Sorry, Land Mox Sapphire. Oh, I guess that's still the same. Yeah. Mox Sapphire is fine. They're going to go Underground Seed Demonic Tutor. I don't know if they drew Force. If they drew Force, it's unfortunate. Because we're kind of going all in that they don't get to Tabernacle us. Okay, they kept... So they drew Containment Priest? I mean, they have to do it now. Okay, they did draw the Containment Priest. And I have to force the Demonic Tutor. That's so unfortunate. That happens. No response. No. Draw step. Dredge 4. Okay, we hit a chill. That's excellent. We also hit another dredger. Yes. Alright, let's attack. It's a 2-turn clock. So they're forced to block next turn. We have force. Hopefully they didn't draw a Spell Pierce. Or a Flusterstorm effect. Also, this is really awkward, too, because their Underground Sea is their land drop this turn, so they can't Tabernacle us. Connor really in the tank. Okay. There's the Underground Sea. Here's the Demonic Tutor. Here's the Force Pitch Force. It worked. Now they're going to be forced to block the Hollow one. No. Draw step. Dredge 5. Let's see if we can hit another couple of Creeping Chills. No. Alright. Forced blocks are forced unless they have a swords. Okay. They go to 4. Icarid is lethal, even through a Tabernacle. Again, this is for the trophy. This is super exciting. Unfortunately, it's against my buddy Connor, but some could argue, you know, that's the best way to do it. They could buy Lurrus, but that doesn't do anything. They'd have to have another land to Nihil Spellbomb to eat my yard, but then that taps them out, and then they die on board. And that's assuming they have, like, a Lotus. Okay, they do play another land. Because they still have to buy the Lurrus itself, so they need 6 mana just to play Lurrus. What is this? If this is a Jailer, that will buy them a turn. Dig through time. Oh, yeah, I knew they had dig through time. Yeah. Okay. So, they can't have Tabernacle because they've already played their land. They could find swords. Swords plus Sapphire, and then one of their remaining cards... I said Sapphire, I meant Pearl. And then one of their remaining cards, second swords. This might be a trophy. That's exciting. Because again, we have the Icarid locked and ready to go. Alright, they resolved their dig through time. They have a jet. And they said they're in a bad spot now. Alright. I'm just making sure I'm not messing this up. Let's go to Icarid's resolve. Do they have a Containment Priest? It looks like they don't. Let's do the Ghoul. And then if we hit a Creeping Chill, it's just game right here. We did not. Let's go to combat. They have something. Okay, so they kill... Yeah. They kill the Icarid with the block. Yep, so they hit the Narcomoeba, they block with the Icarid, and then they block the Orcish Bowmasters. Oh, man. If they found Tabernacle, that's brutal. Sure. Please don't find Tabernacle. They said they're in a bad spot, so that tells me that they don't have Tabernacle, because if they did, then that means they're in a great spot. Because they know all the cards in my hand now. Ever since I forced. Another land isn't necessarily the worst. It means they can play and cast Lurrus, but that's not enough. Yeah, play and cast Lurrus is not enough. If they have Lotus, that could be something. It looks like they don't. Yeah, let's just eat the shell. Draw step. Let's just attack. Go through the motions. This should be lethal. They might be I hope that they're taking this time to just congratulate me, because this pause is making my heart race. Woo! Baby! First trophy since coming back to Modo. Alright, that's exciting. Thank you, Connor. I greatly appreciate the match, and I appreciate you making me earn it, too. It just feels a lot better that way. Yeah, that was great. Love your brother, and I hope you check out this video on your way to the land run. Well, that was exciting. Really happy to get the 5-0. It was unfortunate that we had to play Connor for it, you know, a personal buddy. I don't know what they were at for their league. But either way, very excited. And we played against a wide range of decks. We only played against one, like, true Fantasticar deck. I believe the Doomsday pile had Fantasticars in it as well, if memory serves correct. But either way, we played against a variety of decks. We got to beat the Fantasticar deck. They don't always have the turn 1 Fantasticar activate, etc. I do think that it's a little bit out of proportion with, people reacting with it. Should it be restricted? Maybe, but I personally don't see it as being that big of a deal, but I might be in the minority. Who knows? Either way, it is nice to be able to, play Dredge for the first time and literally get more back in prizing than I spent on the deck. I just had to buy actual bazaars. I picked up 4 Narcomoebas because I was told that this version of Narcomoeba is fixed. Like, it doesn't bug out people's games anymore, which is exciting. Maybe I'll use some of my prizes to start getting original art Force of Wills on my client, since those are 5 times the price of these normal ones that I have. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. It is nice I didn't have to invest a whole lot to put this together. I would like to play the Car Shops deck, or Fantasticar, because technically Fleet Wheel Cruiser was the original Car Shops deck, but the Fantasticar deck. But it's not worth me, spending that much on the client right now, just to potentially have it restricted and, lose a bunch of value or whatever. I don't have a client that has infinite money on it currently, so I just honestly don't want to mess with that, unfortunately, and I don't want to beat a dead horse either. So moving on, the Wastelands did come up as far as me wanting them, but we were able to beat through it, and Icarids go a long way to beating Tabernacle, so I don't know if I want to play the Wastelands or not. I do believe that they're over the Leyline of the Voids if you do play them, at least from the lists that I've seen. But I was watching FiretruckModo's recent video for Dredge like 2 weeks ago or something. It was released 2 weeks ago, I think. But I was watching it yesterday just to see if, I should try out Dredge or not and get some pointers. In one of their games, they were trading bazaars for Wastelands. And because their opponent had Bazaar first, like, it just did not seem good. Like, they were just always ahead. Even if, Fire Truck retaliated with their own Bazaar. Or, sorry, with their own Wasteland. So, I don't think that that's a play pattern I care to play towards. But the Tabernacle is nice. Now, with that said, and this is all speculation, of course, I'm not a Dredge expert. These are all just ideas I have from playing Vintage in general. You still have to draw the Wasteland if they have the Tabernacle. Of course, you can naturally have it, but you're not always going to have it all, contrary to what Fantasticar players and opponents say. So I don't know if I really want to try to draw towards Wasteland for a Tabernacle out when I already have Icarids that, assuming I can, draw them, and by draw them, I mean dredge them, it kind of makes the Tabernacle irrelevant. So maybe I won't play with Wastelands for a little while. But I do really, really enjoy this deck. Maybe I'll sleeve it up in paper. I hate, honestly, I was just telling Connor after our match, I hate how much I really enjoyed this deck. Results-oriented, of course, and one league does not make the deck, nor the player. But we fought through a lot of hate, and the deck has wheels. Of course, we already kind of knew that, right? We already kind of knew that, but I don't know. It was just nice being able to experience it, and then being on this side of, like, we mulled the 4, and it felt like we still had threat plus interaction. So I don't know. It felt really good. I don't want to ramble too much, but I appreciate those that did make it to this part of the episode, or if you just skipped to it, good for you too. Go back and watch it. We had a lot of shenanigans go on as well. I think Moto was on my opponent's side a couple of times, just skipping through my turn even when I didn't F6. I don't know what that was about. Thankfully, it fixed itself going into round 3, whatever it was. But yeah, either way, I don't know if I'm going to do another video before the land run. Maybe. I'm about to start my work week, and then after I'm done with it, I'm just driving straight to Oklahoma. So I don't think I'm going to have time to record any more videos, but who knows? Maybe I'll do a cheeky one. I know before my nose surgery, I did one right after my surgery. So, either way. And Rebecca, thanks for the good luck sunglasses. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you at the land run. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of these others you might also enjoy. I alternate between playing Vintage and Powered Cubes both on MTGO and MTG Arena. If you like cubing on Arena, but it's too expensive to play as often as you'd like, Check out some of my personal MTG Arena Cube videos on this channel. If you like it, join us sometime for a draft. We'd love to have you. If I don't see you in Discord first, I'll catch you in my next video.